It's really difficult in the beginning knowing that you're innocent.
Ryan Ferguson spent 10 years in prison. Now he is out of jail. How he received the news that he was free.
A standard school board meeting anywhere else is a critical point in the history of the district here in Normandy. I'll tell you what school board officials are talking about tonight.
Now you can tell by Steve, it's cold out there this morning. Temperatures in the teens for a lot of us, but a warm-up is on the way.
You're watching News Channel 5, where the news comes first.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, November 13th. I'm Nicole Burley.
It is midweek, and there's a lot going on, including sentencing for one of the most notorious gangsters in American history.
Plus, it's hump day, and we've all seen that commercial with the camel. Well, now apparently camels are all the rage, and indeed, we're going to have some baby camels on the plaza.
I know, feeding baby camels with a bottle.
I am really
How
fired up for this.
cute.
I don't know about you guys.
Good, you can do it. We'll watch until we see how friendly they are.
Camels, you know, kind of are in the desert, right? So I wonder how they're going to feel about this cold weather.
Good
That's an
point.
excellent question.
In the
Scott.
desert, the nighttime's cold in the
True.
desert. My question is, are the camels like the goats at Grant's Farm, where they'll, take off your hand if you're not careful, when you put that bottle out? We're going to find out here this morning. 18 degrees in Alton right now, 19 in Millstadt. It is 15 in Eureka, 15 in Warrenton this morning. Temperature's cold. A few of us are still in the 20s. Lambert's still 24. We were a little cooler than that earlier this morning. Not much of a breeze out there. Sky's clear, but we think we've pretty much bottomed out. We're plateauing at this point. Temperatures will go up this afternoon in the mid to upper 40s for highs at noon. We're at 43. Driving home 45. The high today 48 degrees. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Really, to get arrested and to get charged for a crime you didn't commit, it's incredibly easy, and you can lose your life very fast. But to get out of prison, it takes an army.
Free at last. For the first time in nearly 10 years, Ryan Ferguson is waking up this morning as a free man.
He was released Tuesday evening, 1 week after an appeals court panel overturned his conviction in the death of Columbia Daily Tribune sports editor Kent Heitholt.
News Channel 5's Ryan Dean's been listening to all of the interviews that came out of Columbia.
Yeah, he joins us live in the Breaking News Center with more on this historic moment. Right?
Well, Ferguson woke up yesterday not knowing he would be released from prison. In fact, he says when he was told by a prison worker to gather his stuff, he thought he was being sent to solitary confinement. But then he saw his attorney through a glass window, and she was holding up a sign that reads, It is over. Missouri Attorney General Chris Koster announced yesterday that the state would not retry Ferguson for the murder of newspaper editor Kent Heitholt. Ferguson always maintained he was innocent. He was set free after 2 witnesses recanted their testimony, and a judge determined he did not get a fair trial. Ferguson says now that he's out, he's not sure what he'll do next.
I really don't know. I have no idea. I don't know that I was expecting just to get out and be able to do whatever I wanted. I couldn't look too far into the future. So, like I said, I've been preparing for my life from day one I got arrested. I've been reading and writing and studying and working out. I've been taking care of myself. So I'm ready for anything, really.
Ferguson said he wrote a book while in prison, and it's nearly finished. He says he can see himself teaming up with his father to advocate on behalf of others in similar situations. Pat, Jennifer, Nicole?
And Ryan, I know you listened to that whole news conference. Did Ferguson have anything to say about Charles Erickson, his old high school classmate who helped convict him?
Yeah, Erickson said he claimed to have recalled through dreams he and Ferguson killed Kent Heitholt during a late-night robbery. Erickson has since recanted his testimony. Here's Ferguson when asked about Erickson.
I don't really get caught up in my feelings towards him. I know that he was used and manipulated, and I kind of feel sorry for the guy, and I know that he's been victimized. He is an innocent man in prison, so he needs help, he needs support, and he doesn't belong in prison.
Now, coming up at 5:30, you'll hear Ferguson talk about the victim in this case, Kent Heitholt, the message he has for his family. Back to you guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ryan. And of course, Ryan Ferguson will share even more of his story live on the Today Show this morning.
The exclusive interview can be seen right here on News Channel 5 at 7 o'clock, right after Today in St. Louis.
Under this morning, police are investigating a shooting that sent one man to the hospital in North St. Louis. Police called to the 4900 block of Leahy around midnight. Officers found a man there with a gunshot wound to his stomach. The victim tells police 4 men in an SUV ambushed him somewhere nearby. No suspects are in custody.
And just a few blocks away from that scene, firefighters were battling a raging house fire. Look at this. Crews were called to a fully engulfed home at the corner of Prange and Beacon. This is in the city's Walnut Park East neighborhood. Now, we believe this house was vacant and nobody was hurt, but still no word yet on a cause.
Closer to downtown, police and paramedics dealing with a serious crash involving a Metro bus. Around 11:30 last night, a car rear-ended the bus near the corner of 14th and Choteau. The driver of the car was rushed to a hospital in critical condition. The driver of the bus and a passenger not seriously hurt. Part of the street was closed down while police investigated, but the scene is now clear. And take a look at this. A man hurt after driving his car through the side of a warehouse. This happened around 2 this morning on Brown. That's just off North Kings Highway. The car took out a fence before tearing through the thin aluminum walls of the warehouse. The driver was taken to the hospital, but his condition has not been released.
Today, family and friends will gather to honor a Roxana High School student killed in a horrific car crash. Tennis player Sammy Owsley was killed in that crash. 4 other teens also in the car crashed into a tree Saturday night. Their injuries range from broken bones to a serious head injury. Visitation for Sammy will be held later today at St. Paul Lutheran Church in Wood River. The 16-year-old will be laid to rest there Thursday morning at 10. Sarah?
All right, thanks, Nicole. Traffic-wise, we mentioned earlier we did have that accident on 270 westbound at 367. That is now completely clear. So at this point, we don't have any major problems out there on the road for your morning commute. Let's go ahead and take a look at the maps, and you can see that we even have green sensors across the board on both sides of the river. So you'll be scooting right along as you head out the door. Average travel times and speeds. You can see 70 just west of the Missouri River and the Blanchette Bridge rolling right along. And as you approach Route K, you'll look at pretty good situation there as well. So we'll see you in the next couple of minutes for another check of traffic.
Thanks, Sarah. It's 5:07 in controversy over a local superintendent.
Was his placement on administrative leave racially motivated?
This morning, the Florissant Ferguson School Board is speaking out.
And another critical night in Normandy. What school officials are going to talk about?
And this morning in St. Louis, our temperatures, well, they're cold. What about a warm-up later today? Well, maybe not anything really except feed those baby camels that are coming down the television plaza a little bit longer this morning. We are talking about temperatures that are running in the teens and 20s in town. Skies are clear. We don't have a wind chill this morning because there's no wind. So that's a bonus for us. As we go through the day today, we are going to find that sun warming us pretty quickly out of the teens and 20s this morning, back into the upper 30s and low 40s by lunchtime. Most of us are in the mid to upper 40s for highs later on today. And we get a full day of sunshine across the St. Louis area. Let's check in with Tux this morning. Here's our Palmerito Pre-Owned Center to cruise around town. Hey, Tux.
Hey, Patty. Things are looking pretty good out here this morning. Poplar Street Bridge and Martin Luther King Bridge. No problems to report. 64 moving freely. Doesn't matter if you're coming in from Illinois or parts westbound in Missouri. Things headed towards downtown are fine on 64. Highway 70 travel past to the airport. Took me about 16 minutes. Might take you a couple extra minutes when you do it. Get your early morning flight. Right now you'll find me on Highway 270. I'm in North County. Things are moving right along here. That's a quick look at your morning commute. I'm Palmerito Pre-Owned Center's commuter, Jim Tuxbury. Back to you guys.
Okay, thanks, Tux. Well, was the decision to place a local superintendent on administrative leave racially motivated? That's the big question. Parents in the Florissant Ferguson School District are asking their school board, and tonight the parents hope to get some answers to that. Last week, Ferguson-Florissant School Board leaders decided to place Dr. Art McCoy on paid administrative leave. Their reasoning was a difference in focus and philosophy. Now the board is clarifying that reason, saying they have concerns about Dr. McCoy not following board directives.
And we're trying to give as much information as we can. It is a personnel issue. There's only so much I can say. So I'm not trying to hide anything. It's just the board policy and state law prevent us from saying too much.
So a school board meeting will be held tonight at 7 at McClure High School. The public is invited and will be allowed to speak.
Well, district leaders in Normandy will meet again tonight to discuss the future of their school system. Another critical night was to become a series of meetings with high-stakes decisions. News Channel 5, Steve Patterson live at Normandy headquarters with a look at what's on the agenda tonight, Steve.
And to go look at that agenda, this meeting is again scheduled as a regularly scheduled meeting. But if you've been following these meetings as of late, there's nothing regular about any of them. Big decisions come at every point during these meetings, and they could change the direction of the school as it's facing this transfer situation. And here is the situation. The unaccredited district lost hundreds of students this year because of state law says if students are at an unaccredited district, they're allowed to transfer to someplace else. And Normandy has to foot the bill about $500,000 every single month. As it stands right now, district leaders are not paying the $1.3 million so far tuition bill for those transferring students. As state education officials cite the law, saying that the district has about 60 days before funding is yanked from Normandy and then distributed among the 17 districts. It's a mandate to give that money to anyway. Transportation is a different story. The board recently reversed its position, saying they will pay for students. They have a contract, and so they will pay transportation for those transferring students. The decision tonight, once again, looking at tuition. Will they make the decision to pay that tuition bill, or will they not? Either way, the district is looking at running out of money by the spring. This meeting is scheduled for 6 o'clock tonight. Of course, we'll be there to follow it and bring you the latest. It is the latest from Normandy. I'm Steve Patterson, News Channel 5.
It is 5:14. Back in court, Boston mobster Whitey Bulger will be forced to hear from the victims of his crimes.
And getting ready for more wedding bells in Hawaii. The law that supports same-sex marriage.
And this morning in St. Louis, we are talking about chilly temperatures. There's a warm-up on the way. Coming right back with your forecast.
Welcome back. It's 5:17. It's getting colder, but a magical season at Lone Elk Park. Went for the first time yesterday. It was just unbelievable.
It is beautiful. You've got to check it out, Nicole.
I know.
It's
So
really...
why was it so magical?
Well, there was bison, actual bison that you can drive right by, elk that come right up to your car. I mean, you're not supposed to get out and mess with them, but it's...
It wouldn't be a good thing.
Did you?
Really
No, I... Yes, the 12-year-old in me wanted to, but I abided by the rules.
Good. I'm glad you stayed in the car. It's safe that way, much safer that way. We got your number. Let's show you what's going on weather-wise this morning. We are talking about cold conditions across the St. Louis area. Skies clear overnight. We've probably already seen our low temperature officially at the airport. We were down to 23, at least on the hourly obs, and we may have slipped down a little bit between hours, but right now, still at 24 degrees in St. Louis. We have a clear sky. There's not much of a breeze out there this morning, but temperatures upstairs aloft are actually warming at this point, so we really haven't seen these numbers move a whole lot. Warrenton did drop another degree to 14 this morning, 17 in the Chesterfield Valley, 19 right now in Sparta. It's 16 degrees in Farmington. Wind chill is not really an issue this morning because there's no wind. We're looking at temperatures this afternoon as the winds start to pick up out of the south to southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, going back into the 40s, 43 degrees as we head towards lunchtime. High pressure starting to slide away from us. The cold air is pushing all the way down into Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas. There's a lot of spots that have freeze warnings in effect in the far south this morning. Of course, obviously, we have the cold temperatures here. It will not be as cold overnight tonight. We'll drop into the 20s to around 30 after being in the mid to upper 40s today. And tomorrow we should be in the mid 50s and about the same on Friday, maybe mid to upper 50s for highs, depending on the amount of sunshine we can break through the clouds on Friday. And then we increase the chances for some rain over the weekend. Showers, it looks like, are likely on Saturday, and then Sunday we should have some showers and thunderstorms. Doesn't appear to be a continuous rain. Probably the heaviest of it will be later on Sunday into Sunday night, and we think temperatures will head back into the 70s come Sunday afternoon before we get cold again after that.
Let Pat fool you. He sent me a picture pulling an Ace Ventura running alongside the bison, alongside the car, and just said, don't tell anyone, but how cool is this? A selfie, you know, just sprinting through the wind. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't really do that. But traffic-wise, there is not a darn thing going on out there as you step out the door this morning. Take a look at the Poplar Street Bridge. You can see here traffic clearly is present heading into downtown St. Louis. But again, as you approach the exchange, you're not going to have any concerns. They were placing some signs for the new Mississippi River Bridge that had points. They had closed some lanes there. So you can't expect a little bit of a delay if you're traveling that way, but again, that shouldn't cause too much of a huge headache this morning. Taking a look here at 255 and Telegraph near the JB Bridge, you can see a couple of cars out there. If you're traveling over towards Illinois, very light, calm and quiet. Same situation for out 70, 40, 64 near Lake St. Louis and the chain of rocks at this point. So I'll see you guys in the next couple of minutes.
All right, thanks a lot, Sarah. Now, in fairness, too, right across the street, the World Bird Sanctuary. Also cool, but that's another day. All right, we want to talk about some national stories making headlines this morning.
We begin in Hawaii, where the state will become the 16th to legalize same-sex marriage.
The state Senate passed legislation yesterday that would allow same-sex couples to get married starting December 2nd. The governor has said he will sign the measure. Illinois has already announced it will legalize same-sex marriage as the governor plans to sign a bill passed by the state's General Assembly last week.
And it is sentencing day for Boston crime boss James Whitey Bulger. It begins later today, all part of a 2-day sentencing hearing where the families of the people he killed and tortured will finally get a chance to speak to the judge, deciding Bulger's fate. Now, Bulger was convicted back in August on 32 counts, including racketeering, extortion, conspiracy, money laundering, and drug dealing. For decades, he ran a criminal enterprise in Boston, convicted in 19 murders. Prosecutors are asking for 2 consecutive life sentences.
And the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee holds a hearing this morning on implementation of Obamacare. The Deputy Assistant for IT at the Health and Human Services Department is set to testify. This hearing comes a day after the administration revealed only 50,000 people have successfully signed up for insurance on healthcare.gov in the first 6 weeks. Well, it is 5:22, and he's bringing sexy back.
That's right, and this time it has nothing to do with music. We're talking about Justin Timberlake next.
Bay North alert, the new picture just released by Kim Kardashian of her baby girl.
5:25, our time this morning in St. Louis. One thing that we look out over the city this morning, the flag is not flapping in the breeze. That's a good thing. We don't have wind this morning, but we still have the cold temperatures. Pretty quiet weather conditions here. If you're traveling, should be pretty quiet over most of the country. Freeze warnings, though, extend all the way down south into Florida. Just in case you're wondering if you've got friends that maybe are down towards Destin, they have wind chills right now on the Florida Panhandle beaches in the 20s. Nicole?
All right, thank you, Scott. Well, Jennifer Lawrence is speaking out about body image in Hollywood.
You're exactly right, Nicole. Lawrence is the star of the eagerly anticipated second big screen installment of The Hunger Games. It's a series that's catching fire. In an interview with the BBC, Lawrence said that she didn't want her character's on-screen figure to be too thin to promote a realistic image for young fans. To drive home her point, she said, quote, Kate Moss running at you like a bow and arrow wouldn't really be that scary, which I can kind of see that. I think that's good if she wants to promote a positive image, especially for all the things that we have going on with teenagers wanting to be super thin.
And GQ has released its 18th annual Men of the Year issue celebrating male superstars.
And making one of the covers is none other than Justin Timberlake. In the magazine, he gives an in-depth interview answering questions about his acting career. And Nicole, also featured on the cover is rapper Kendrick Lamar and actors Matthew McConaughey, Will Ferrell, and the late James Gandolfini. Magazine hits newsstands on November 19th.
I'll have to check that out. Well, it's an emotional day for Alec Baldwin. He took the stand in his accused stalker's trial in New York. A Canadian woman faces 23 counts of harassment and 1 count of stalking. According to multiple reports, Baldwin became emotional when talking about how the defendant allegedly showed up at his home the same day he proposed to his now wife. He denied they were ever lovers. Now, the woman, Genevieve Saborin, shown here earlier this year, loudly interrupted court proceedings more than once by screaming at Baldwin that he was a liar. Interesting. Well, Kim Kardashian making headlines this morning, and it has nothing to do with her soon-to-be husband Kanye West or the new baby North.
Yeah, just taking another shot of her bikini image. I saw that on People Magazine and Us Weekly as well, but go ahead and take a look at some of this video. The reality star was pulled over by the police after an officer spotted her speeding away from the paparazzi on an LA freeway. Apparently, 3 other cars were also chasing her. And check this out. Kim just released a new pic of baby North, like we mentioned, on Instagram. In the pic, Kim shows baby North being held by her stylist. So how old do you think it'll be before she gets in front of a stylist, baby North?
No, I'm so sick of talking about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. I don't even know what to
I
say
agree.
about
So
it.
why don't
Yeah.
we just put the kibosh on? Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, you guys. Well, you know, the Rams are on a bye this week, but they will be back at the Edward Jones Dome on Sunday, November 24th, when they take on the Chicago Bears.
This morning, one winner will receive 4 tickets to the game. You can register to win right now at ksdk.com/contest. You have until 11 a.m. Time right now is 5:28.
You are watching Today in St. Louis.
You're watching News Channel 5, where the news comes first.
Wanted by the FBI, authorities need your help this morning tracking this man down. We're going to tell you why.
It is once again a critical moment for the fate of Normandy schools, what district leaders are discussing tonight.
250 animals removed from a Missouri home, the conditions that led to their rescue.
Welcome back, Sound 529. I'm Nicole Burley.
It is Wednesday. You know, a lot of people recently have been talking about Hump Day, but today we're really going all out.
Experts say that camels are all the rage now because of that Geico commercial, which many of you have seen. So today, we're bringing camels into the mix.
The only thing is, I don't think the camels will be able to talk.
How
Unlike
do
the
you know?
commercial. But, you know, that's true. That's true.
We'll see.
Scott.
Yeah, Pat's a ventriloquist on the side, you know.
That's right.
So that the camel may speak to us in a different tongue, if you will, later on this morning. All right, we are talking about quiet conditions for your early morning commute, at least weather-wise. We have mainly clear skies this morning. Temperatures are going to be in the low to mid-20s in town. Outlying areas are in the teens. It's definitely a cold start, but the roads are dry, and they'll stay that way all day long. Green dots on the board later today. It'll be a bit warmer this afternoon as temperatures climb back into the mid and upper 40s for highs. We'll start that descent as we head towards 6 o'clock, but not as cold as yesterday. Temperatures this afternoon top out